Hey everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of All Bronze and No Brains, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast hosted by your two favourite Irish gay boys, myself, Tony Webster, and my wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous voice of an angel and fully automated AI Autobot assistant, David Jackson.
Well, you nearly did that all in one go. Hello, yes, and if this is your
Can I
first
do it
time...
again so I don't fuck it up?
No! If this is your first time here, then you're very welcome. And if it's not, then welcome back. Thank you for watching again. Thank you so much, big girl. We are talking about Season 4, Episode 5, Beer Bad, written by Tracy Forbes, who I think maybe Tracy was having some boy problems that week when she wrote this episode, because it's very, very, very women, and it's a very...
Listen, we are so, as women today...
It sits down and has a conversation about how women and men treat each other, which I find like really interesting. In the middle of this one, it was like, I think she's going through a bad breakup. And directed by David Solomon.
But also a big welcome to Tracy Forbes, because it's her first time in the Buffyverse, and boy, what a first time it was. But directed by David Solomon, who I only discovered recently, also directed some episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., including one of my favourites of all time, Orientation Part 2, which is the second part of the Season 5 premiere where they're in space.
No reason to send a message back to Earth. We're already here.
I'm going to say I don't think this is the first time you've told me that. I think you've told me this fact before about David Solomon.
Oh my god, really?
I think so. I think you finally ran out of space in your head for remembering stuff.
But I wish that we had like a researcher or something, because I'm not going to go back and fucking look for it.
If we have repeated that little fact, let us know in the comments.
Let us know.
Hang on. Oh, and if you didn't realise it, this is episode 61 of the podcast, and you can find season 1 and 3.
Epstein, you can find Epstein. You can find David in the Epstein.
No, you actually can find David Jackson the Epstein. It's just such a common name. It's in it like 5,000 times. It is me, but
it says Dave from The Voice.
Anyway, go watch or listen to us on Spotify and YouTube and Apple Podcasts. Now, before we jump into it, we want to continue to answer the burning questions on everyone's lips. Who the fuck's Veruca?
Why are we still talking about Parker?
Why are we still talking about that fucking big doe-eyed prick? And just what are the geopolitical ramifications of bioengineering? I actually thought about this.
Sure, Jan.
Up top, let's talk. Before I tell you stuff about this episode, David, tell me a quick initial briefy overview thought.
I thought this was just a fun, bubble pop, easy episode, not too deep. Gets into a little bit of depth. There's a few bits where Willow's saying some stuff and Parker's saying some stuff that it feels like the characters are being puppeted about something that doesn't feel quite true to what someone at that age would really think. There's just a little bit of that in me, but again, didn't take me out of it. I enjoyed it, but there's a little bit of like preaching. Felt like a Saved by the Bell episode. That's what it was.
Well, producer Douglas Petrie and the writers originally intended for this episode to qualify for funding from the Office of National Drug Control Policy because it promoted an anti-drug message. However, the agency rejected it because the story was too fantastical. They said magical beer turning drinkers into cavemen just didn't fit into a real-world anti-drug narrative. So they just kept on doing the episode anyway. This episode was ranked by Vox at 144 of all 144 episodes of Buffy. It is like noted as being the worst episode of Buffy, which I personally, when I was doing this watch, I was like, this is just stupid and fun.
Yeah.
Like fun. And I think maybe that's because we've had a heavy season 3 and we're quite enjoying the funness of this. But in an interview, David Solomon revealed doubts that he had about this episode. Him and Joss Whedon had doubts about the quality of this episode. He said the fourth season's Beer Bad wasn't everyone's cup of tea, especially Buffy fans. Solomon had some doubts about this episode, but it turned out to be better than he expected. Joss wasn't entirely pleased with the story, says, he came into my office last minute with a script and said to me, I tried to make it better, but all I did was make it funnier, which I can see. I feel like that's such a valid thing. And David Solomon took that to mean, we're not exactly sure what this is supposed to be, so just enjoy yourself making it. So David Solomon said he had a ball doing it. It was a laugh to watch the frat boys turn into cavemen and have Buffy affected by the same thing that was affecting them, and they just let everyone kind of go crazy and nothing really bad came out of it. Now, a really random, strange fact. Obviously, for people who are listening, it's not like I had just went and discovered this, and you've probably heard it in every Buffy podcast ever, but I'm just putting the information out there for our people who don't listen to any other Buffy podcasts. This episode was nominated for an Emmy for makeup and hairstyling.
Oh my God!
But I'm sure there's definitely better makeup and hairstyling episodes in this season.
One of the only good reviews that came out of this was from Todd Hertz of Christianity Today, who used this episode as an example of the show's honest portrayal of consequences of like premarital sex and drinking alcohol. I think it's brilliant. And this episode remains the lowest rated of the series on IMDb with 6.3 out of 10, which is not really that low. I mean, it's just
didn't get into the
half,
fives. Didn't get into the fives.
So I thought I'd give you that wee bit of context after you watched it rather than tell you before, because I thought it was funny. So
thank you.
We'll just get straight into it. We've got the previously on. These previously ons in season 4 are absolutely banging. They have this like wee bit of music, like compositional music, that's like this little like piano. It's almost like eerie. It's very like suspenseful, and it just hits my previously on spot every time.
Your P spot?
Oh, my P spot. Oh my God, why did I not think that? Brilliant. Well done, David.
Thank you.
We see the whole thing about Parker, Xander feeling left out, and we see Oz seeing that girl that he saw a few weeks ago. So we're into the cold open, and we open with...
You've put a spoiler into your notes.
Have I?
Mm-hmm. That I didn't know. The introduction of the odious she-werewolf Ferga, and very silly, very pretty story about the awfulness of the college students drinking. Didn't know she was a she-werewolf.
Oh, damn it. Sorry, that was a mistake.
That's okay.
But you probably would have been able to guess that soon, unless you're a stupid fucking bitch. But we start with this brilliant fight. Like Buffy like flips off this mausoleum. She's wearing black leather trousers. She beats the shit out of these 3 vampires, and we see that she is saving Parker. And there's all this romantic music, and she slays these vampires, and he apologizes to her. And then it cuts to Buffy in class with this like sad piano music. I thought this switch up was quite like jarring and quite like, oh. It's actually one of the first times in this batch of episodes where I've been like, okay, I actually feel kind of sorry for her. And I don't know if that's to do with like the direction or whatever, but
I think it was an interesting way to show us that she's thinking about it, daydreaming. I don't think we've ever really seen Buffy daydream before.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. And she sees Parker flirting with this girl in class, and the class that she's taking is psychology with Professor Walsh. I'm calling her Professor Walsh from now on, not Maggie, so that you don't think I'm dropping hints. And Professor Walsh. Professor Walsh is talking about the things that we want: comfort, sex, shelter, food. And she's like, we always want them, and we want them all the time. And she's talking about the id, the superego, and the ego, or the pleasure principle, morality principle, and reality principle. Which, what did you think about this? I thought you would kind of like this because you're into this kind of stuff.
I was, and I'm not. I am. I don't necessarily know if I don't know enough about it to give it. I have a mild interest, but I've never really done proper research into it. But that sort of stuff, that's Freudian stuff, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I do. This is one of the things I didn't enjoy about this episode is the setup, like the very much the id and everything comes out. Everyone's id comes out all of a sudden, and I'm just
Chekhov psychology class.
Yeah, a little bit, and it was like, I kind of wish it was like. That's why I kind of felt like for the first time in a long time, a teenagers TV show. Because it felt like it was trying to deliver a message or like a real like theme of the week, drugs, theme of the week, sex, theme of the week, smoking. Do you know what I mean? This felt like theme of the week, the pleasure principles of being an adult and just wanting what you want. And it's that like, which I enjoyed, but I just like, it just felt a bit like hammy or something. I don't know. Simple.
Yep.
Usually a little bit clever with it, you know.
Yes, I think that's when you can tell when there's like a first time Buffy writer. It is almost like they're
bit too on the nose.
Yeah, that's it. Professor Walsh, Danielle Walsh is like, fuck it, let's try it. Professor Walsh after explaining all of that, is like, and what do we do when we can't have what we want? And we cut to Buffy having a repeat of her daydream. She slays those vampires, but this time Parker has ice cream, roses, and an open shirt when he apologizes. And then it cuts to the credits. Any thoughts that you haven't shared?
Once I seen him, once it cut back to that, and he was with the shirt and the ice cream and the pink shirt as well. It was a different coloured shirt too. It was all soft. I was like, that immediately, when it cut to that and then went to the credits, I was like, I know exactly what episode we're in for.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
when it's a joke cut to the credits, I'm like, this is a jokey episode. But when they dramatically cut to the credits, like, sure, then you're like, oh, something's going to happen. Like, oh, this is going to be like a dramatic episode. Where when it's like a bit of a wah, 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 credits, I'm like, all right, okay, so it's going to be like, bam, like a janky sort of like comedy episode, which it was. I didn't think it was that bad. There's definitely worse episodes of Buffy that we've seen, for sure.
Immense.
No, not even immense.
I like in Buffy's fantasy that she's like dressed a bit sexier than normal. Like she's dressed a bit more like Faith. And I love that even the fights are kind of like bigger and better. That because I like that even in her own fantasy, she is like a heightened version of it. Like the way she like flips off the mausoleum and stuff. Like seeing this fight, part of me wonders if after they did this episode, they were like, oh, we could have her do this all the time, because the fighting does kind of go up a notch.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry, I'm laughing because you've missed a joke that you're going to find in the edit.
Oh, what was it?
I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to leave it for the edit.
I'll wait for the edit and then I'll include my...
Sorry, future Tony, send me a text message of what you find that you missed in that joke.
Okay, I'm excited.
The way she like flips off the mausoleum.
My God. I love the inclusion of entirely different music to show us that we weren't in the normal Buffy world.
Yeah, I got that too. I like that.
I thought that was smart. It took me a wee minute to realise it. I did notice that Buffy's got her scar on this week.
Didn't notice.
Yeah, she's wearing a wee scar for a wee change.
That's nice.
And also, why is Parker in Buffy's class if he's not a freshman?
Very good. Because he's flirting with girls. Because he's just walking around. He went to uni to get his hole. He didn't go to uni to learn anything. He went just to get his hole.
Well, the only thing I could think of was unless you can take modules of other courses like in your second year.
I think they made a mistake. There's no way they've just made a mistake and put him into the scene.
Yeah. So after the credits, we are straight into Act 1. We're on the campus. It is sunny. We've got this California 90s band music. And Xander's like, rough day. And he like flicks his lighter at Buffy. And he's trying to get Buffy to pretend to be a lonely drunk because he is, well, first of all, he's looking so good.
Yeah.
And he's got a new job as a bartender on campus. And he shows them his fake ID. And his fake ID's hot. He's got a moustache.
He looks like fucking Mario.
That's totally my type. And his fake date of birth is the 29th of November, 1970, which I just thought was so funny because that makes him so old, but I guess that's kind of funny.
Yeah,
it also says he's 5'10", which...
Why is that getting you hard?
No, it broke my heart a bit because I'm like, if he's shorter than me, like I just imagine him being this big man and now he's a little bitch. Anyone under 5'11" is a little bitch. Only joking.
You little bitch.
He's not short enough to be a short king, you know, but he's just like, he would have to look up when he was kissing me.
He's a mid-prince. A little mid-prince.
A mid-prince, that's it. That's it.
Is that
A medium monarch. My God.
Medium monarch.
Willow says, I don't believe this is entirely on the up and up. And Xander's like, what, give it away? And Willow's like looking at it. Oh my God. Xander thinks he'll be fine because he's seen Cocktail. And we have a depressed Buffy telling Xander that she can't fake any problems because she has too many real ones. So many. So Willow gives Xander this fake problem. She's like, I'm pregnant by my stepbrother who'd rather be with my best friend and left me with no place to live and no food except for a bottle of wild turkey, which I drank all up. Fuck. And Xander's like, what?
It's a weird scene.
I know, it was just such a like non-reaction. Xander asks if they'll come see him at the pub later, and Willow tells him that she's having a date with Oz at the Bronze. Chekhov's date at the Bronze. We get a nice wee walk and talk where Buffy launches right into some post-Parker prattling about him keeping her in some sort of bubble and maybe he'll pop her out and blah blah blah. But Xander makes a smart joke when he asks her how that fugue state is coming along, which I just thought that was quite funny.
Fugue state's good.
Well, you might want to tell that to your face.
Yeah. For those who don't know what a fugue state is, it's like a dissociative mental state. Not right?
If anyone doesn't know what disassociative means, it means like you're not quite yourself.
Oh my god, you're so smart at being so simple. Willow tells Buffy that she needs to stop thinking about Parker. I like Willow, you got her into this mess, bitch. You're gonna have to deal with the consequences. She tells her there's better men out there whose minds are stronger than the penis. And Xander's like,
nothing can defeat the penis.
nothing can defeat the penis.
Right.
Such a good stupid line.
It was ADR.
I mean, it was so obviously ADR, but I love it.
Because the energy that he's given it on the ADR does not match his face.
Yeah.
His face is like, you must not do the penis. But it's like, you must not do the penis. It's like really like full on, but his mouth doesn't make it. I had to rewind it 3 times to watch it.
Or you said you must not do the penis?
Whatever the word is, I can't remember the line.
Nothing can defeat the penis.
Nothing can defeat the penis. But he does it with such like gusto that made no sense
Yeah.
to me. That at that point in the whole episode, I went, "That's fine. I'm not even gonna." I didn't even pause to do my notes because it was like nothing much is happening right now that I can't keep up with my note taking. Do you know what I mean?
This took me like 5 hours from when I started watching it to when I finished. Obviously, there's other parts like I do the scripted start and end and stuff, but it was just like this first act was so long.
But nothing's really happening in the first act.
And it's not even, it's more just like the structure of the episode is so strange. And it's not that it drags on. There's just like, there's loads of stuff that like happens in different places, but they just didn't think to fucking stick a break in like a little bit sooner.
But also like a lot of it is just pratfall and humor and acting humor. There's not much happening. There's no plot really in this episode to talk about. So this is why I was like, we're going to get through this in an hour.
Buffy's making excuses for Parker and Willow's like, I'm not listening anymore. That's not my fault. She's like, listen to the bartender and Xander's like, yeah, the bartender's here and he's always ready to listen. And we have this smash cut to Xander at the busiest bar ever being like, what? And you can't hear anything. Thoughts on this before we move into the bar?
No,
scene?
not too much. I thought that was only the ADR bit. And when we move into that bar scene, who orders drinks at the same time as other people?
I know. Like, we don't live in the era anymore where like the customer is at the forefront. It's like you really have to wait for the barman. Like I
You
thought
don't
that
just
was
shout your order. Yeah. Anyway.
yeah. What did you think of Xander being part of the girl chat?
Yeah, I like that. I thought it was cool. I quite like that they found a way of getting him. I'm assuming he's going to get many different jobs at the university at this point to make sure that he's always around. He's probably going to be a janitor and a good dinner lady, or like he'll end up being like a college guest
Professor?
lecturer or something, or like an assistant to somebody, or when Giles finally becomes the fucking librarian of the uni. I don't know, but I liked it. No, it was a good wee scene. But again, I just don't have I'm just waiting on the.
Yeah. Are you still into Buffy's post-Parker depression, or are you over it now?
No, I'm over it. I'm so over it. I'm so over it.
So
It's
over it.
2 episodes and with 3, it wasn't that good a ride. Like,
I mean, the general consensus from the writers as well was the same thing, and they were like, we really didn't want to keep dragging this out, but we knew we had to get to this point for it to be that level of like annoying. That's to paraphrase the writers. They're like, we just want it to be extra annoying at this point. So we cut to the bar, and I love how terrified Xander looks. I just think for someone who doesn't have much to do, he's got quite a lot to do, acting chops this season, and I'm really quite enjoying it. Buffy comes in, of course, and sees Parker with another girl, and while trying to spy on him, bumps into Riley and spills his beer all over him, and he seems genuinely annoyed.
yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, when he's like, this is the thing that I like, that even though we might know what happens with Buffy and Riley, but they're not setting it up initially as like a romance, which I think is quite good.
I like that too, yeah.
This girl is really fucking annoying. he tells her that most people walk around him, and she's like, but you're so tall and sexy and muscly, and you take up so much room. Oh my God. Just when I creamed my knickers. And they get talking about, what? You guessed it, Parker. Riley's like, that boy needs his attention plan checked. And he's like, he sexes them up. Well, he does do that too. He sets them up and knocks them down. And that he's old-fashioned. But Buffy doesn't hear him because she's so busy staring at Parker. And Riley's like, well, I'm going to fuck off since you're ignoring me, dickhead. And Buffy just watches Parker and some random girl make out. And I'm like, at this point, just someone get Buffy a cock jar.
Cock queen.
Yeah, she's the cock queen.
And don't you fucking forget it.
The cock queen of Kansas City. Fat. Xander gets to do his rough day trick. He does it on this blonde girl because I think he thinks that she's crying, but she's actually like laughing, but we only see it from the back.
Yeah.
And he's like, rough day. And she turns around and she's like, nah, it's been super good. Like, Melanie pledged it, blah, blah, blah. And we got these pins. Like, I designed it myself. It's like a plain pin with like 3 letters on it. I'm like, oh my God. Don't go to the Camp School of Degrees. Oh my God. This girl looks like one of those dolls that would be like possessed in like a horror film. You know, she's got like that. She's got the doll fringe haircut, and she's got like, you know, when I used to like push my cheeks up over my eyes.
Yeah.
This frat guy comes over, and his name is Colm, Colm, but probably Colm. I find that hard to say because I would just say Colm.
It is Colin, but like
Okay.
you sort of, it's like film and film. Colin.
Yeah.
You sort of squeeze the last O together into the M and the L. Colin.
Come. So I'm probably just gonna call him Colm, and not Colm.
I didn't even know what his name was. I called him Blue Shirt Guy.
Yeah, because I don't think they have names unless it's in the script, but he's not the hot kind of frat guy. He's like the smart kind of frat guy, and he's a dick to Xander. He basically is like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your conversation. Were you talking about the geopolitical ramifications of bioengineering? And Xander's like, I have beer. You want beer? And Colin orders a pitcher of Black Frost. Shout out to Colin Coyle. He's based on you. Oh my God. But, right as I say, but Colin is a dick. And he keeps going on at Xander, saying basically that Xander doesn't have a chance with like the blonde girl because Xander's a bartender, and that the frat boys are the future of America. And Xander tries to use his power as a bartender to basically say like, how about I see some ID, or you're not getting a drop until, and the guy walks past like, just give him the beer.
I love that guy. It was so funny.
He was brilliant, but Xander does reluctantly. We see Buffy sitting alone at the bar, and Xander finally gets a chance to ask rough day, and Buffy tells him Parker's problem with intimacy seems that he can't get enough of it. And she asks him if he was tied and gagged and left in a cave that vampires happen to frequent, it wouldn't really be like I killed him, really. And Xander's like, Buffy. And then she calls herself a slut and an idiot. And Xander's like, no, stop being so hard on yourself.
You stupid idiot slut.
You stupid slut. Before his boss is like, dickhead, it's busy, pull the finger out, even though there's no one at the bar at this point. Buffy bumps into another guy on the way out who's a bit like a teen move Freddie Prinze Jr. Or like if Freddie Prinze Jr. and Megamind had a baby.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I'm like, is he wearing his caveman forehead already? Or not sure. The rest of the frat bros come over and are all like, you shouldn't be like sad and alone. You're beautiful and you should be covered by men. And Buffy's like, oh, that's nice. Nothing red flaggy about this at all. And they hand her a beer. I'm like, girl, 101. Never accept a drink that you haven't seen being poured from 4 frat men.
I don't think say frat men. Frat boys?
Oh, froze. Any thoughts about this before we have a chat about geopolitical ramifications? Oh my God.
No, I love and hate the character of the elitist guy. The guy that's like, I hate people like that because I'm poor and I hated rich people. So it's like the people who, and I used to get talked down to because I'm not stupid, and I hate it when people talk because I had a bit of an accent, talk to me like I'm stupid. But that really triggered me, so I thought it's good writing because he is really annoying. He's like the guy from, do you know the guy from that movie that we love, the spoofy one?
Not Another Teen Movie. The one who's like, Mrs. She's gonna do, but yeah.
Mr. Not first string anymore. Isn't first string anymore.
Yes, that guy with the blonde hair. That's who that guy is. Like, he does it so well, and only that person only exists in America. That's an American character that only exists in American television.
One of the tropes that I really hate, I mean, I guess it's not really a trope because it is reflected in kind of real world socio politics, which is the idea that knowledge exists in a class system, which in some ways it does. But this is one of the good things about the invention of the internet, that it almost like removes that class system from a lot of people and their access to knowledge. Because when he was talking about the geopolitical ramifications of bioengineering, I was like, we've had a conversation about this before. Because I always think about, like, one of the biggest ramifications of bioengineering is the creation of a new arms race. Because we see that these states are like developing both offensive and defensive biotechnology, like China and Russia.
Yeah, but then it's like you think of the shift in economic power, like the transition from fossil fuel based to like bio based economy, and that will like reshape the. I think it'll like reshape the global power dynamics, favouring like nations. No, but like no, hang on. No, because it'll favour nations with advanced R&D, innovation, capacity. Like biological resources are over like traditional oil-rich nations. Do you know what I mean?
I think the way it's going to kind of reshape those global power dynamics is by highlighting the global inequalities and stability, because we see with this divergence in biotechnology, like the capabilities could worsen. We see like other nations, like we see the widening gap in healthcare and agriculture and economic prosperity, like compared to others. Like it really is just fostering a more kind of fragmented, competitive global landscape.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's good. Then there's the rise of non-state actors, which we haven't even talked about, like the democratization of like DNA synthesis. It allows like smaller nations and non-state
Like
actors,
terrorist groups as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
terrorist groups.
Yeah.
They can develop like bioweapons.
And obviously something a lot of people talk about that's related to that is how that is then twisted and used against people when we talk about like biosurveillance and ethics. Like biotechnology being treated as like a strategic rather than scientific, like raises concerns over genetic privacy, especially around increased surveillance and reduced international collaboration on ethical standards.
Do you think so?
Oh, 1,000,000%.
And we haven't even talked, like, sure, even with the Iran stuff, like supply chain vulnerability is huge.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean,
like depends on specific nations for like biomanufactured goods. May lead to like new forms of economic coercion.
Economic coercion, yeah. And supply chain instability.
Yes.
Anyway, we can talk more about this later.
I know we need to do the. I know
on.
I have a gig to go to, but we'll talk about it after.
I don't know if you noticed, but there is a Camry flag on the door behind Xander.
Wales.
So Act 1 continues. Jesus fucking Mary and Joseph.
Does she?
We cut to Willow at the Bronze and she's on her date with Oz. And Oz's hair is so long now that it almost is kind of like half werewolfy.
Yeah, I thought he was. I always think he's a bit werewolfish.
Oh, contra. Bet his balls are hairy as fuck.
I think they're really clean. I think he doesn't have any wrinkles on his balls. I think he's got really smooth.
He's got the scoop.
The scoop.
He's got the scoop.
Nope, scoop it is.
Anyway, so Willow's talking to Oz and he's like, oh, I feel a little queer. Like, it's just probably me under the table. Oh my God.
You're not little.
No, I'm a big fat queer. That table would be like...
Pimp my table.
Pimp my table, yeah. But the band that have just started playing, the lead singer is a Timu Shirley Manson, and she's being all weird and like staring at all. First of all, I hate her performance, but we'll get more into that next week if she were to come back.
If she were to come back, it's so shit.
This is the girl that Oz saw last week like at the very start of the season. He turned around.
Oh, is that the one he looked at when we seen in the...
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And Willow asks if Oz knows her, and he's like, Faruka? No. Like, you know her name. Also, Faruka. Bazooka that Faruka.
Trust our experts and bazooka that Faruka.
Who fucking calls their child Faruka? The script describes her as she is Faruka, 20, like maybe 20 years ago, with a charismatic energy and a presence that is fluid, intense, and highly sexual, which, yes, she does give that. It's just she just has such an annoying face. And I hate saying that about women because it sounds so misogynistic, but if you have an annoying face, so...
I don't really have an opinion on her yet.
I'm going on.
I quite like the song, to be fair.
Above ground. Oh, that's next
I
week's
just
song.
was like, what the fuck's going on with Oz? And I'm like, oh, good, some like Oz Willow issues. It's all been too good for them for too long.
Oh, well. Oh, man. Oz is a bit transfixed. We cut back to the bar where Xander's working, and the frat guys are talking a bunch of shite about how good beer is, and Buffy's like, my ma said beer was evil. And one of these frat boys is Kumar from Harold and Kumar.
Yes, noticed that. Who also worked for Obama for 7 years. Because he was on an episode of House. He was one of the main doctors in House. And he was taken off one of the episodes specifically because Obama hired him to be a staffer in the White House. So they killed him off the show.
Oh, wow. And he also pops up as a different character in Angel.
Oh.
Yeah. Hal Penn, or something.
Hal Penn?
Yeah.
I remember. Hal Penn? You sure that name?
Yeah, that's Kumar.
What? Oh, in real life?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was like, that sounds so. I thought it meant the character in Angel was called Hal Penn. I was like, that's so weird. I think I meant his name. Sorry, yeah, I know.
David Boreanaz? Oh my god. So we've got Kumar from Harold and Kumar. We've got Timu Freddie Prinze Jr., who literally looks like a character from Big Mouth cartoon. And the other one is a guy from Bones. He's like RJ or something, who goes on to be like, he's in every single season of Bones.
Don't recognize him.
Which I thought was really interesting. I didn't recognize him either, but that's what the script said. Oh my god. The script didn't say this guy's from Bones. Buffy is slagging them all off, and she's like, you guys just love to hear yourselves speak, and they all continue to drink under the watchful eye of Xander. What do you think about these frat boys? Do you think they would be like Joe Roganers?
Yeah. They'd be Trumpers. They're maggots if I've ever seen them.
Yeah.
Ever.
Maggot. Oh, it's like faggot, but maggot.
Yeah.
Oh, maggot is also a word, but... And I don't want to sound condescending, David, but you have entered your peak entertainer era.
What?
Where, like, I feel like you have really mastered.
Where's this come from?
You have really mastered now. If you ever listen to my podcast, our podcast that we did with Sarah, and I was like, my kind of dream for David is that, like, because I told her that, like, you're such a good natural performer. I said, I get the best of you at all times because I've known you my whole life. But our listeners and viewers get the instant best of you because you're on as a performer. But I feel like you're in your peak era now where we've moved through the seasons to now where you're like, you can entertain now while still holding a critique of the episode in a way. It's like that is
okay.
like I think that is like the most entertaining type of podcast. So thank you for catching up to me.
Yes.
But really, it's very good. Anyway, so Buffy's dorm. The next day at Buffy's dorm, Willow comes into the room fresh from a shower.
Are you still on Act 1?
Yeah, we're on the cold open.
I really have the best. Go.
No, go.
I know.
I don't mind.
I know, but I like the tension sometimes.
Okay,
It keeps me, like,
fuck, it makes you hard.
yeah, it does. Actually, I'm really hard right now.
But if you hold in your pee too much, you'll go to the bathroom and your willy will be cold and wet and be all shriveled, and it'll take you a minute and you'll splash.
No, because I'm hard. Because I really need to pee so
okay.
much. So it's going to actually be like I have to like tilt over like the Mission Impossible piss.
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton.
Anyway, so the next day at Buffy's dorm, Willow comes in to the room fresh from having a shower or whatever. I'm like, hopefully she's wearing flip-flops or she might have gotten a verruca. Willow's like, oh, my name's Veruca. I'm in a band. And she asked Buffy if she's ever heard of Bazooka, that Veruca.
Dresses like Faith, voice like an albatross.
The albatross is funny.
I actually do want to look up what an albatross sounds like, so I can put it in here.
You'll know what it sounds like. It's that seaside sound. That's it.
Buffy's hungover watching TV, telling Willow that she's suffering the aftermath of a night of badness. Willow mistakenly thinks that she's pumped Parker, and she's like, oh, Buffy, not again. And Buffy tells her no with 4 really smart guys.
Yeah.
And Willow's like, 4? Oh, ow.
Yeah, ow was such a weird choice.
It was so good.
That's so much more detail in the ow than any other thing.
Because I know that Willow's thinking 4 at once and not 4 in sequence.
In sync, yeah.
Which is in sync in all of her holes. That would be your nightmare, trypophobia. It's funny, you should have trypophobia because you hate being tripped up. Oh my god. So Willow asks her if she's okay, and I'm like, she's the most, I can tell if she's a great friend or the worst friend. Like, but she's very supportive either way. And I was just like, can you imagine if I rang you and I was like, Dave, I just got my back blown up by like 4 massive cocks? It'd be like, boom. Hello? Buffy's basically like, I drank loads of beer, it's nice, foamy. They're doing a good job, I think, at balancing.
Foamy is not a good description of beer.
Beer. It shouldn't be foamy.
The person who wrote this episode's never had a beer. Just like crispy, thirst quenching foam is the worst part of it, because if you burp it up and it comes into your mouth, you're like, of all the foam in your mouth, you just swallow it again or spit it out. Anyway, go ahead. Anyway.
If you burp it up and it comes into your mouth, I'm like, I don't think a lot of people would do that.
Is it just me? Do you ever burp foam back up if it's too foamy in your stomach and you burp and instead of a burp, it's just foam?
That's called vomit.
No, it's not. It's like Diet Coke. It happens just sometimes. Like it's so foamy.
Oh, yeah.
And then you like do a wee burp and like foam comes up.
Yeah,
like,
I get what you mean.
It's like almost like foamed out of your belly. No.
Okay.
Anyway.
Acid reflux. Enjoy getting your stomach replaced. So Buffy is like, I drank loads of beer. It's nice, foamy. Willow's raging at Parker for making Buffy drown her sorrows. And I'm like, at this stage, Parker's been pretty upfront. And I want to be careful with how I walk around this. So at this stage, I feel like it's kind of all on Buffy now.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No.
Am I misogynistic?
No. I think we even
Two
get
things
that.
can be true. Two things can be true. She's allowed to be hurt, but he hasn't.
He hasn't done anything wrong.
Other than the first night.
He was a manipulative, sleazy, creepy fuck. Got his hole and didn't care. Unfortunately, there are manipulative, sleazy fucks in the world. There shouldn't be, but there are. So we can either try to make sure no one ever does anything bad ever, or we can prep ourselves for the inevitable people who are going to be bad. And this is how you learn.
But the difference being Buffy confronted him about it and he said it didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that makes it okay, but at this stage, Willow's the fucking one to blame. I'd be like, I'm not letting you set me up with anyone ever again.
Yeah.
So off Buffy and Willow go to class, but Buffy's about to go on her PJs, oh my god, before Willow's like, get dressed, you fucking mental case. So back in Psych 101, Professor Walsh, no first name, Maggie, tells them that the next class is going to be on personality types and disorders. And Buffy's acting still kind of like semi-weird drunk when she puts her hand up. And she's like, Willow did the reading. I'm like, oh my god, I actually got real like secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah,
like,
that was.
I hate when people would do that, being like, he knows everything.
Yeah.
He's really smart.
He's a really good singer. He'll get up and sing.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's you. You
Yeah.
can relate to that. Oh my god, and that was me being the one that said that.
Yeah.
Buffy goes feral when she sees a girl eating a sandwich in the row in front of her, and she grabs it out of her hand and starts eating it. And Willow's like, "What the fuck are you doing, you tramp?" And Buffy's like, "What?"
Yeah, it's actually what she does too.
Yeah. So we cut to a big old, what looks like a meth lab and chemistry set somewhere, and we see someone is making some scientific-y posh, and we see it like all drooling and dripping into this big canister of the black frost beer. Oh my god, what's going on? End of Act 1.
Finally.
Oh my god.
The nightmare's over.
Smiles, energy up, and action.
We open with a cute AF Buffy. She actually is looking really cute with the beer. Wanting some foamy beer. Like foam. She is boozing with the yuppie boys, and Sander has a very concerned look watching Buffy. He suddenly seems to be a professional bartender all of a sudden. It looks really comfortable after 2 days. But to be fair, that is kind of believable. Yeah. I could imagine if I threw you in any job for 2 days, you'd be kind of like passable. Like people would think you've been there for like at least a couple of months.
Yeah. Except that one time I made defibrillators with Ali Bradley and had to leave after like 2 days.
Why? Because it was manual labour.
It was just very, yeah.
My nails were done. Didn't want to wreck him. But there's the funny part when he's looking quite concerned over Buffy, the woman that he's been waiting on to show up at the bar to do the thing.
Boy, I'm having the worst day. You got a light?
He misses it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, she was really fed.
Yeah.
I was like, I actually, do you know this is how far Xander has come in 3 seasons? I was like gutted.
Yeah.
I was like kind of rooting for him to talk to that girl because I'm like, he could do with one. Do you know what I mean? He could do with the win.
Even though he's gone on you?
Oh, yeah, fair. Oh, yeah, I forgot about her. The blue shirt dude, Colm, says he likes girls. And I was like, God, that's so funny. It reminds me of Tony at 14 denying his true self. I like girls.
I'm bi.
And we're back at the table and they're beginning to become quite apish. She keeps kind of jumping back and forth like through time. Yeah. And they're beginning to get more and more apish / Neanderthal-y. And Buffy calls one a smelly head. One gets pushed over and they kind of giggle like kids or like like monkeys, like wee monkeys or kids or something. It's kind of silly, but I kind of found it amusing. What do you think of the scene?
Yeah, the only real thing I've got to say is I love that whole boy, I'm having the worst day. If you got a light, and Xander just pointing to the no smoking sign.
Yeah, no, he held it up. He goes like
Oh,
that. He
okay,
holds
yeah.
it up.
I thought that was good. I can't believe I didn't know that, and you did.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Xander's been a good mate.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see him be in this place after where he has been for the majority of the show.
Even later on, where a different Xander would have taken advantage of a particular Buffy in a particular light, he was very much get off me.
Yeah.
Apish imp.
Totally grabbed her tit though when he was like getting her off the jukebox with Yulo.
Didn't see that. Totally grabbed her tit though is a really funny set. Anyway.
What do you think about this like smidge of a rift that's come out of nowhere between Oz and Willow?
Good, I like it. It kind of does come out of nowhere.
A little bit tense.
Yeah, bit of tense. I didn't realise that, see right now, well, I could pretend I didn't know what I know, but I was like, I don't understand why it's so swift. Something feels quite ethereal or otherworldly about this. It's making me think there's something deeper going on here than it's just, Oz is somebody's in, and I'm like, I'm going to make so many jokes about her being in heat. We cut to Willow and Oz. She has been avoiding Oz, and then we find out that he's been avoiding class because she was a bit annoyed, wasn't she, from the thing? So she's kind of avoiding him. And then he says to her, like, do you want to go watch Shy tonight? And she's like, who's Shy? And it's Fergus band. They're called Shy. I'm like,
no, they're Shy.
It's a good name though. Shy's a great name. And then he says he wants to see her again and wants Willow to come.
I have a question about this. Willow keeps and I wrote in my notes here in parentheses this groupie thing. Willow keeps talking about as if someone has called her a groupie. I actually had to go back and look. That hasn't happened. In my mind I was like, did Willow meet Veruca and Veruca called her a groupie? But that didn't happen.
I thought it did happen.
Did it?
Yeah, there's a wee bit where she's like, was she not talking about Veruca to Buffy?
She's never spoke. We've never seen her speak to Veruca. She meets Veruca for the first time in the next episode.
I thought it said in that bit she had met Veruca after the gig.
No, I know that's what they kind of imply by her saying that.
Oh, this doesn't make sense then. This actually doesn't.
It's not even in the script either, because I looked through the script to see, have I just not been paying attention?
And then Willow says she has to do study. She basically uses the study excuse, and Oz is like, okay. And then Willow goes, sweet, and then walks away. And he looks like smiley, like, oh, something might be wrong. It's like a really awkward goodbye, and then he just kind of turns and walks away. And I was like, if I were Willow, being with Oz for so long now, being in the world that we are in Sunnydale, and his behaviour changes so swiftly, so suddenly, I would be like, some magic world thing is going on right now because he's being weird. Mm-hmm. He's being weird. This isn't like Oz to just be so inconsiderate, to be like, I really like this girl and I want to go watch her band. Do you want to come with me, girlfriend? It's like, what? No, he's not that dumb. He's much more...
I think Oz doesn't even know at this point like why he's so like attracted towards...
I get that, because I feel like this is so out of character for him to be so bad. Just saying that out of the blue like that without being a bit more caring or being a bit more... I don't know. And then I just wrote here, is Oz leaving or something? Anything in that scene with them too?
No, I just felt like they sell the awkwardness of like the reality of that like very real, even though it seems, even though we analyzing it can be like, that is so quick and blah, blah, blah. But it's like when these things happen in a relationship, they happen so quick. They come out of nowhere and the whole, okay, well, I'll see you later. Yeah, see you later. And then just like both walk off like, yeah, it felt real.
That did feel real. I did like that. We cut back to the cavemen at the table. I'm just going to refer to them as cavemen from now on because Neanderthal is too difficult to say.
You just said it.
Xander starts playing a bit of music on the jukebox for no reason. Buffy comes up and starts hitting the jukebox saying, it sings in this sort of dopey kind of way, Neanderthalic kind of way. And then I just wrote Buffy being really, really dumb for some reason. And then Buffy says, beer good. This is what I mean. See me even describing this. Anyone that hasn't seen this in a long time, this is all very much being acted out. It's all very much show don't there's not really much going on.
We just see them literally slowly turn into fucking Neanderthals from the amount that they're drinking.
The boys realise that Buffy's left by sniffing the seat. And I'm like, but you could just look at the seat. Why'd you have to go?
You're thinking too much.
I know, but that one bit, just some of their choices. It's just, I think that guy's choosing to sniff. I don't think anybody's telling him to sniff. And I'm like, you don't need to sniff. And then I'm like, why has your nose suddenly gotten so good? Because later on, he sniffs something out in the middle of the room. And I'm like...
But that's what cavemen, they use their senses like that. But I don't know, I'm not a caveman expert.
All right, totally sticking up for it. Okay, you obviously are. We cut to Willow in the uni. I'm assuming you've nothing there really in that scene, do you?
No, all my stuff is really based around like Parker and Willow.
We cut to Willow in the uni, maybe. I don't really know where she bumps into Parker. They're in a space.
Yeah, I had wrote an on-campus cafe basement library hangout place.
Yeah, I was so unsure. I'm so glad you wrote, where are they? That doesn't have a... That is the most, let's just stick some books there, a coffee machine there, a table there, a pool table there, a board, like a chalkboard over there. Do you know, it's like, what is this room? And we could see that Willow's run into Parker, and Willow's doing this. I think a lot of their choices in this episode are a little bit weird, or like maybe editing choices. She's just going like, like she's doing like a real huffy face, and it's really odd.
Could you imagine if someone who you pumped mate came over to you being like, why didn't you pump my friend again?
Pump. Well, yeah, because she decides to go up to Parker and give him a telling off. Like, stand in front of him, like, arms folded, like, you hurt my friend's fit. Like,
she loved you.
I know, it's like, she says she's tired of his meanness, and Willow explained to Parker what he did wrong. And I'm not even going to go into it, because it's very much like...
It's a morality debate thing where, like, you can, depending on...
But even in the way it's being placed in the middle of this episode as, like, a table debate, like, across from each other, is so out of the ordinary for... This feels like something that would happen in the West Wing.
Yeah.
This conversation between them two. Anyway, Willow explained to Parker what he did wrong. Willow wants him to explain his actions to her. And I'd be like, no.
Parker does say to her, like, I don't think I need to explain myself to you.
Yeah.
He does say a great line where he's like, people shouldn't have to preface casual sex with just so you know I'll never grow any older with you. And I didn't want to love that line, but I kind of did.
This is the thing, a lot of the stuff that Parker says isn't wrong.
Are we incels?
No, I think we're just rounded people. Like, they were not... Anyway.
Literally rounded.
I just wrote it was a nice speech about, like, he can get the right if he wants. It's all about being in the moment. Why can't two people just be in the moment and be together and not have to be like, are we going to be anything other than blah, blah, blah. But I just kept...
We should clarify, we're only agreeing with Parker on this side of things. We don't agree with, like, manipulating people up to a point to get that and then saying this. But I do feel like now that we're on this side of things, like, the boy has to repeat himself so much.
Yeah. I do. I'm not saying his practices and his behavior's good. Just saying his behavior's good. I'm just saying that is what his behavior is. People like that exist who just want to have casual sex. There's people intended to just want to have casual sex. Especially, it's just that he isn't upfront about it at the start. He doesn't say, like, I'm really enjoying this conversation. I'd love to see where this goes, but just so you know, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. But you couldn't say that because then you would kill the crack altogether. But then maybe you shouldn't have the crack then if you're not. No, I'm getting into a thing now. This is just a silly... This is sort of like a PSA kind of episode.
Well, yeah, and the thing to note as well, that Parker does legitimately apologise at this point. Well, whether it's legitimate or not, he says the words, he apologises for misleading her, and he is sorry that she is hurting. So I'm kind of like... Case closed.
Can we please get rid of this doe-eyed... And he's not a very good actor either. He makes a good point about being in the moment, I said here, and then Will explains the female point of view, and then he wins her over a little bit with the argument. It feels a little bit like Saved by the Bell. Bale, and do a sit down about sex. That sort of feels like a sex episode in Saved by the Bell. We cut back to the apes sitting around the table. One starts taking his top off. The blue shirted one is forever just sniffing around. And then they pay up, and Xander's trying to sort out the tip and uses mathematics to end up getting a really large tip. And I quite appreciate that the Neanderthals understand English and do understand.
This is so the right amount.
Yeah, I said this is a funny scene. All the actors are given. They're all committing to the bet. I appreciate that. They are committing to the caveman, like, acting, which I like that we've seen them be from yuppie little upstarts to being these Neanderthal idiots.
Yeah.
Which is quite an interesting thing I've never realised until right now. They end up giving a big tip when a massive noise comes from the bathroom, and then literally a caveman comes out after turning into Captain Caveman. Captain Caveman! Did you watch Captain Caveman?
No.
Okay. You got anything about that?
No, that was it. Oh, I just said I like the kitschness of having him go into the bathroom and turn into the caveman, because there was something about it happening off screen that was just very Hammer horror or something.
Hammer horror, yeah, I was going to say Hammer horror. And then we cut to break.
Kids, they're bundles of energy, but they need the right snacks to keep them going. That's why I give my kids Fruity Bars. They're full
So we open after the break.
We don't open anything.
Anything.
Here. So for anyone who's wondering, we took a little break at the end of Act 2 because Act 1 was 3.5 years long, and David had to go to a gig. And I'm going to put in a video here from your gig that I screen recorded because it was so good. But no, it was just like, it was a song that, I'm used to hearing you say, like Respect and all those other ones. But this song was just like, it really is the type of song that suits your voice to like the T, where I'm almost like, wait, what?
Tennessee Whiskey, was it?
That's work.
That's very nice, Tony. Cheers.
I know you're really bad with compliments, but you love it.
We open to the Neanderthal sniffing Xander and screaming at him like a goat.
Yeah.
That noise. The other boys start changing too. And I quite like the transitions. They went on for a while, so there must have been that much content in this script. Because there's a lot of just like showing us a load of stuff, which I really appreciate, to be fair.
Kumar's forehead bulging was actually class, the way you saw it actually bulge.
Yeah,
out.
I thought there's a lot of physical effects in this, and quite, again, Hammer horror, as you said. Xander wakes up to the pack all around him. He lights the lighter, and the fire kind of freaks him out, and then suddenly, like, entrances him, like, oh, fire, fire, and then they sort of back off, and they leave. Xander tells Jack in back of house, who could give not one single clean fuck about any of this.
Some of your patrons are turning into cavemen.
They had it coming.
Which I was like, Jack, mate. Which obviously I've written this before I realised Jack's the turn.
I love how kind of dumb it all is, but I really enjoy it.
I'm here for it.
I also like Xander being smart enough to use the lighter, and I like that because that lighter's been part of his, and it wasn't even like Chekhov's lighter. Like they tricked me in that way. Is it the cavemen that say fire pretty, and then Xander's like fire angry, and then they're like,
I feel like this is a really good episode. I think you have to stop fucking screaming and singing in your house at this time of night. They're going to knock your cunt on my god. Oh, I was going to say that I think this is Xander's, like, his character really suits Zeppo, like, like calamity kind of comedy, like just straight up a comedy episode, and his character really shines in those episodes because he has such good comedic chops, to be fair to him, and that sort of witty repartee and that sort of like wit and thoughtfulness is very good for him.
This is almost a wee bit like Zeppo Part 2 in some ways, or at least with the amount of Xander we're getting, but also in Eric and Ketrin's Trivia Crypt, which is their bonus episode where they talk about like different facts and stuff, which we include in our episodes for free. Oh my God.
Oh, listen to her. Oh,
they probably won't
my
listen to it.
God, Queen Slay.
But they were saying that in an interview with Joss Whedon actually said that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was basically the idea of the Zeppo. That's kind of what inspired him to do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it was like the B team, where you don't...
Oh, yeah.
Where you don't kind of see what's going on, which is kind of funny because you can kind of see it, at least for the first season, for sure. And the guy that plays Jack is his name Jack? Yeah, because Foxy Jack is played by Stephen Porter, and he was in, you mightn't have seen this, but he was in Best in Show, which is one of those, you know, the Spinal Tap comedy crew, like...
Oh, right, okay, following the real mockumentary.
Yeah, and it's with, like, you know, Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, and everything. So there's actually a great scene between him and the late, great Catherine O'Hara that I'll pop in here.
Cookie?
Yeah.
Cookie Googleman?
Yeah.
Does this ring a bell? I'm not wearing underwear.
Bulge.
Yeah, that's me.
Bulge?
Yeah.
Get out of town.
It's me. You look fantastic.
You too. You've grown.
I'm growing right now, girl. Just looking at you. That is the one and only time I've ever done it on a roller coaster.
We cut to the cavemen running about eating leaves and climbing trees, and then one falls, and then one starts laughing, and then the one that was laughing gets hit in the head with a trunk. Literally is what happens for, honestly, about a minute and 30 seconds, which is quite a lot of time.
One falls, one starts laughing, the other one falls.
We cut back to Jack slabbering about the college boys and how much he kind of hates them. Xander realizes that the beer is the thing that is causing the change, which is kind of nice because Xander's never really the one that has the eureka moment. It's usually Buffy or Willow or Giles, which again is really leaning me towards this is a Zeppo. This is an episode for what's the word I'm looking for? The Yellow Submarine. I think you used that analogy before. No, what's his name from Ringo? It's like the wee episode that gives Xander every season just because to let him bust his chops, you know.
The beer.
Neat, huh? My brother-in-law's a warlock. He showed me how to do this.
No neat. I serve them that beer. I serve Buffy that beer.
But I love the motive because it's like a kind of classist undertone, which I just thought it's actually quite smart. Better than the motive in Scream 7, that's for sure.
Xander starts panicking about Buffy, realising that the beer's changing the boys.
Yes. We
cut back to the cavemen and they start playing with cars, and one actually gets smacked by a car. Really kind of properly gets hit by a car. And the guy gets out of the car and absolutely shits himself and runs away because the cavemen are like chasing him. Hang on.
Let's just say that fruit that accidentally knocks down that caveman runs away from his car so fast and so far. I'm like, get back in your car.
Yeah.
And drive away.
Tony.
By the time you see him, he's run down the street and he's going around the corner.
Yeah. I thought like it would have been quicker if they were nowhere that you could have gotten your car and driven away over the top of them. They're fucking cavemen. Some girl walks around the corner and the cavemen start chasing them and leave behind their brethren with the broken leg that we never see from ever again in the rest of this episode.
Well, he dies. We find out in season 5.
Oh, happy days. Anything thusly?
Yeah, I mean, I just love the comedy of all of that. I love your man Jack being like, my brother-in-law's a warlock. It's just like, yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And just that wee fruit. And just that wee caveman, I kind of felt sorry for him when he was, because he was like,
yeah. It's like someone shaved Chewbacca.
It's like, sure, falls down the stairs and spears around, go, oh.
And what if Cher was a wolf and howling? Oh.
Wagon wheel, what you see?
We come back to a cool shot of Xander and Giles. Very X-Files shot, I find, like a Mulder and Scully angle, because it's the camera's looking up at them, and they're both looking very like, what's going on here?
Oh yeah.
And then Xander starts telling Giles off for even serving Buffy. And then when they get into Buffy's room, she is drawing on the wall, but she hasn't turned into Cave Woman. She's had summer dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's going for that beach look.
She's just back from her gap year in Thailand. She just did a gap year.
Parker bad.
We cut back to Willow and Parker having this completely different episode than the rest of us. Oh my god, I actually wrote that down. I didn't. Sorry. I just sort of remembered where they were and the weird shot that came in. It looked like we were in like a Newsnight interview between like some politician and do you know what I mean?
Before you go on to that, can I say two wee things about the Xander and Giles scene?
Nope.
No, you are gay.
No, you did.
I'll give you some time to drink your wine, because if your teeth aren't black by the end of this episode, it's not worth doing. I just love that we're seeing more Xander and Giles. We'll probably say this in every episode, because I've been noticing it in every episode that I've watched now ahead. I love their little parallel journey of discovery on this season, which I never picked up on before. Xander's got a great quote when he says to Giles, "Okay, mister, I spent the 60s in an electric Kool-Aid funky Satan groove." And Giles is like, "It was the early 70s.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. It was funny. They're great. Their chemistry's great.
Buffy's doing the cave paintings on the wall, and I really hope that it's not with shit.
It is. And then I wrote, is Parker trying it on with Willow, and is it working? And then I wrote, it definitely is. He touches her hand and tells her something really private, enjoying his time. And then all of a sudden Willow comes out of him like, "You think I'm fucking thick, falling for this?" And I was like, how gullible do you think I am? Which is always just such a fucking great, the word gullible's great.
Yeah.
Just how gullible do you think I am? I mean, with your gentle eyes and your shy smile and your ability to talk openly only to me. You're unbelievable.
What?
This isn't sharing, this isn't connecting. It's the pleasure principle. That's right, I got your number, id boy. Only thing you're thinking about is how long before you can jump on my bones.
She really has like a rant about men and sex and not changing till like from the dawn of time.
It's all about the sex. Find a woman, drag her to your den, do whatever's necessary just as long as you get the sex. I tell you, men haven't changed since the dawn of time.
I do like that little joke. Like, men haven't changed since the dawn of time.
And then in bursts the cavemen with girls over their shoulders, and then they knock out Willow and Parker. Anything between this scene?
I just love, like the other episode that's going on between Parker and Willow. And I almost bought it because she's very good at selling it.
I bought it.
Yeah.
You can hear me buying it.
And also just like a double slagging basically, when she's like, "How gullible do you think I am?" As in like,
Buffy's a gullible stupid bitch. Yeah.
So funny, man. Go ahead.
Cut to Giles and Xander looking bemusedly at Buffy, who's playing on a chair and fucking about. That must have been so fun to like act. Just get the fuck about. She wants a TV on, and Giles is obviously the bad cop and is like, "No TV," and like speaks to her really like a child.
Yeah.
Giles asks Xander to try, but then Buffy all of a sudden smells Xander and then wants the buck.
It's the buck.
Xander mentions the word beer, and then Buffy want beer, foam beer, beer. Giles says no, and Buffy is raging. Whenever Giles is like, "No beer," there's like a full like Marvel shot where they like
the way
frame
she
her
turns.
and she turns is like.
Want beer.
Giles, don't make Cave Slayer unhappy.
Buffy strong.
Yes, Buffy's strong.
Buffy get beer.
And then she like slams her chest. Buffy beer. Which I was just loving all of this, to be honest with you. I get it. Like, I think sometimes some people can get a little bit too carried away with the seriousness of TV shows when sometimes they have to remember it's a TV show about vampires.
I think if you can enjoy this stuff, it makes the other stuff that is good so much better.
Yeah, I agree. And then Buffy runs out knocking over the two boys. We cut back to the cave men, and they are setting up camp in their like dorm, like lighting a fire and stuff. And the cavemen, one of them's like staring at Willow on the ground, and then it starts like screaming about women and hooting and hollering. And as we see, one of them sets the place alight. Oh my god! Cut to black.
Yeah. Well, I love that scene with Buffy, Giles and Xander in the room, and that shot specifically where like she kind of turns around and she's like, "Want beer."
I like it because it is like I feel like it's taking the piss out of itself.
Yeah.
Because that's a real quintessential Buffy shot before she does like the superhero thing. And then it's the fact that she does that shot and she's like, "Buffy strong, Buffy want beer." And it's like, oh, I like that you're taking the piss out of yourself a wee bit, a little bit of a meta joke upon itself, which I love.
How meta can you get?
You love it.
Lava.
Well, she doesn't run out of the room and bump into the boys. She throws Giles into the corner, which I think is so funny. And Giles is like, when he's like, I'm fine, just find her. He's like so fucked off because he's just like always being thrown about. I love those cavemen just building a wee fire inside.
Yeah. I like that they've suddenly discovered how to create fire.
That's what they did.
Well, they fucking didn't.
They've also reinvented the wheel. Oh my god.
No way, it's square now.
I'll fucking jam my square peg in your round hole. But we also see apparently that wood is just an accelerant now for fire.
Yeah. Like it almost felt like someone had doused everything in petrol.
Yeah. But I like it. It's kind of, it's fun and
Again, silly. I hung up my coat, I put my shoes off, I put my slippers on, and I was just like, I'm very happy just to be entertained by some good actors and a silly story.
You took your clothes off? Well, anyway, that takes us to Act 4.
Finally.
That's why I use new Solar Shield. Flows on like a dream. Protects against...
Finally.
The cavemen.
Well done. Well done.
Or what?
Sorry, folks. Can we just commend Tony on the fact that I triggered one of his little things by singing, finally, it has happened to me. And he was about to go into a full diatribe of the full song, and he went, finally, it has happened to me, right in front of my face, and I just cannot hide it. And you brought yourself back to the you are...
Yeah, CBT therapy is working. Oh my god.
Well done, baby girl. Sorry, it's very funny.
The cavemen are startled by the massive fire that they've started. It's given Sandy Row on the 11th of July. Like, wait, and Hank was going to go, let's fucking beg and then fucking fall over.
Do you know how I know you've been out of Belfast for too long? You didn't just call it the 11th night, you called it the 11th of July.
No, that's for me trying to explain, because you'll be like, no, Tony, people don't know of the 11th night.
Yeah, but then you need to allow me to do my Tony.
Stop burping.
No?
I've got to deal with your burps, your coughs, and every other fucking monstrous noise.
You're telling me to stop burping. You?
I do like 2 an episode. I haven't been burping so long, except for this episode.
Every episode?
Right. Well, you're editing next week's episode.
No problem.
But by 15 minutes into it, you'll be like, please, will you do it? So... Xander finds Neanderbuff walking around outside, and they see that one of the buildings is on fire.
Neanderbuff is incredible.
I know, it's pretty good, isn't it? Thanks.
Sorry, that's very good. Sorry, I just needed to... You stunned me with Neanderbuff. Continue.
The woman was too stunned to speak. Sorry, that's a clip I'm definitely going to use there.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
I also was hoping that Xander would become one, because Neanderthal would have been a great...
Yeah, very good.
He finds Buffy very easily outside. It's like the writer at this point had just ran out of steam. She was like, Buffy's standing right outside.
Yeah.
The cavemen are all like oohing and eyeing, and they're actually dragging the women to safety, which I thought was kind of cute. Like, I don't care if they've knocked them out with those sticks. They're dragging them to safety.
They dragged them to safety, and I was like, that's oddly sweet. Before they rape and pillage them.
No, the cavemen didn't rape. They just took what was rightfully theirs. Buffy enters the burning building, and she touches the fire and she burns herself.
Touch it, I say. You poor simple fools.
But we have this great moment that I thought was so funny, where we think that she's like, her senses are kind of coming back. She gets a fire extinguisher off the wall, and like you think she's going to use it, and then she just throws it into the fire.
I'm not going to lie to you, Tony. See, if she had have used it, I would have been livid.
Yeah.
The fact that she couldn't use it won me over in this whole episode. Just that one moment in this episode where they have a whole comedic moment of her trying to figure out how to do it and then just fucking the thing in and nothing happening. I was like, thank you for not ruining this episode and sticking to the rules of the thing that you've created from this episode. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm going to shut the fuck up.
David, stop it.
They should make like a fire suppression system where like you throw it into the fire and it explodes and then it stops.
There's
but
a
I guess
grenade.
if it was...
There's a grenade.
Okay.
There's one that like releases like a carbon dioxide. so it like quashes the oxygen. You just throw it in and it like quashes the fire by taking out all the oxygen.
Imagine if you were really Irish and you had a daughter and you called her Grenade and you're meant to be like, because it's Grania and Sinead. Grenade.
Shania was taken.
Sean. Anyway, so Buffy recognizes Willow on the floor and her instincts kick in and she jumps over the fire to Willow. Xander is trying to get into the building, but he can't get past the fire. And he's like, where the hell is Giles? And then we cut to Giles talking to a student, describing Buffy as like tall, blonde, walks with a sideways limp.
Yeah, he does a real physical bit of comedy that's really good.
I thought that was brilliant. Back in the den, the fire is raging on, and Buffy spots a little window and she shimmies along some pipes to open it. Like, I thought it was playing Tomb Raider for a moment. It was like,
Yeah, very good, very good.
There's a clue over there. The cavemen knock over this bookshelf that works as a ladder, which I really liked. I love that, just how...
Yeah, that was so neatly done, very quickly. And
I thought it was also like, I'm sure they weren't thinking about this, but the idea that people discover things like this by accident as well, especially from... So I thought that was quite smart. Everyone miraculously gains consciousness at the same time, and they all manage to get through the window.
That's because there was like a set producer going like, okay, everyone, wake up, everyone, wake up, and we're
Why
awakening.
are they sleeping? Why are they sleeping?
And we're awakening, rise and shine, we go to the ladder,
Yeah, bookshelf ladder. They all get out except for Parker, who unfortunately is a wee bit slow when it comes to consciousness. Oh my God. Parker is now awake and he can't breathe. He's like, I can't breathe, oh my God. Asking Buffy what to do, and she just smacks him over the head with her
with a
stick.
really good comedic Acme sound effect. Clunk.
Yeah, so she bops him over the head, and we presume she drags him out because we cut to the next scene, which is outside.
Yeah, we do see her pick him up, but obviously they're like, we can't be fucked making the stunt coordinator try to carry this fat cunt.
Yeah.
So they literally just she takes his hand and does this, and then they cut to the next scene.
They cut to outside. So they cut to the aftermath, and there's all the firemen and stuff. Not one of them had a mustache. Very disappointing.
Must have been straight.
Yeah, I hate when there's straight firemen. Like, fires are gay.
Ugh. They are gay?
Explosions are straight. Fires are gay.
It's because they're like hot. You know what I mean? They're really
looking for some hot stuff, baby, this evening. Anyway, Buffy is still in cavewoman mode. Xander has quite smartly put all the cavemen in a car that was open. Giles is like, whose car is that? Or whose van is that? And every time I've watched this, I've always felt like, oh my God, that's Giles's van. And that was the joke. But it's not.
No, I thought it was Meadow and Parker's fan.
I just wasn't sure, but I feel like they lead the joke in a way that makes you think.
This isn't very well. This does feel like it has been funnied up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it does feel like joked up.
You can see the Joss Whedon jokes, and then underneath is just a real awful skeleton of a script.
We're like, this is why men and women should not be allowed to go to university together. And like, oh, can we make this funny and stop making it PG?
Oh, I think you say this is why women shouldn't be allowed to write episodes.
PDA, is that what it is? No. What do they call the thing? A PSA? Is that what it was? Public service announcement?
Yeah. PDA is public displays of affection.
You love to pee your DMIA? Put your dick in my ass.
I made that joke a few weeks ago. But I'll let you have it. Parker approaches Buffy to apologize sincerely, supposedly, and she just bonks him on the head again, knocking him out. Which seems to me a bit OTT. That like everyone all stands around at the end and like smiles. Because I'm like, he needs to get checked. Like, if she's given him 2 concussions, that's actually really dangerous.
He's got that thing that like American football players get after like too much
blowjobs.
No, too much like American football.
Oh,
like the
yeah.
Traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
TBI.
TMI. Too much information. Oh my God.
Too much information. That's what
Too much bops on the head. Oh my God. And then that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So before I talk to you about Parker, let's just talk about the episode. What things worked for you in this episode and what things didn't?
Do you know, I'd like the humour. Do you know, I just accepted that this was not like this isn't Hush. Do you know what I mean? Or this isn't. And I think I will give myself credit that I'm very good at like whenever it's not one of the episodes. I kind of could put myself in episodic television again where there's 22 episodes, like kind of The West Wing, where there's the bottle episode. That's what they call it, the bottle episode.
Bottleneck?
No, just bottle. It's like it's all in the one space. Like a bottle episode. And this just felt like they were sort of transitioning from the big sort of opening of the season to like, okay, this is the characters we're going to get. This is the themes for the season. Like Xander feeling like not attached to the group, Willow and Oz having some deaths, Buffy getting the ride and being raging about it. But I enjoyed it. I actually genuinely enjoyed it. I just thought of it like the Zeppo. Whenever I realised with the music and the theme and the thing there's something really serious happening, I'm like, okay, I'm just here for the ride. I'm just here for the humour, the good acting, and a bit of the lore. Sometimes in those episodes, I get a little bit extra lore.
Yeah.
A little bit of extra universal lore stuff, and I really like that. I don't care as much about the relationships between the people because it's all very teenagery.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
They are teenagers.
Well, this season is really all about kind of coming out of that. And as you'll see. But I think this season does a really good job of having like good episodes that are very like episodic. There's not really a whiff of an arc. Is that the right word? Until
it's not a they could put that episode anywhere throughout the season as long as it made sense with the season arc. But
we don't really get to an arc until maybe like episode 13 or 14.
Oh wow! So they're just episodic television of her being a uni. That's cool.
which is it's good. I mean, you get the small arcs, maybe like you get
Xander. It's season one all over again. They're establishing this new place with these new characters, with these new background actors, with these new do you know what I mean? So I kind of get.
It's kind of nice now that the difference is that their relationships is not the thing that's going to keep them together. So I think we're getting a nice kind of like delve into individual characters, and we're actually getting to know them more than they know each other.
Oh, very good.
Which I think is good. I didn't even think about that until just
you
now,
doing that with this
nice.
shitty the worst episode of Buffy's whole season, and you're fighting like a wee fucking
But I just wanted to quickly talk to you about Parker of it all. I'm glad that this episode brings Parker's story more or less to a close. He still appears in a few episodes, but not in any. I think it's one more episode, and it's not really anything big. But we've talked a wee bit about the actor Adam Kaufman who played Parker, and I'm sure as many people will know, this is not news. We're not breaking anything interesting, but there's a lot of chat online and on Reddit about this actor Adam Kaufman who plays Parker. Apparently he didn't have a great experience when he was on Buffy. It's been alluded to in a couple of different online posts, allegedly on a Facebook post, and this info is from Reddit, so you can take it with a grain of salt. His wife had commented saying like, oh, he had a really bad experience, blah blah blah, and supposedly he sustained a concussion when Sarah Michelle Gellar knowingly hit him with the hard side of the prop stick. And she also said that she was cruel to him.
He said that she was cruel.
His wife said that he had
said...
Oh,
sorry, excuse me, is what the wife is...
But then he's kind of alluded to that in other kind of comments. The only other thing I'd heard was that he was a smoker and that Sarah Michelle Gellar would get angry at him for smoking before scenes, which I can kind of understand in some ways. The stunt coordinator, that crazy guy I've told you about several times, said in a crazy online interview, which we should dedicate a bonus episode to that someday because it is actually just insane.
I would actually love to do an episode of all like the gossipy, backgroundy like stuff.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea
for a bonus episode or something. You can take me through all of like the drama and the politics and stuff of the like through all 7 seasons. You don't have to like. I don't mind if you spoil a few things. So it doesn't really.
Or we could get Sarah on to tell us both.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
That stunt coordinator said in a crazy online interview that Adam was on the end of some nasty diva-like behaviour from Sarah Michelle Gellar because he was just a guest star. Now, most recently, after the passing of James Vanderbeek, R.I.P., Adam Kaufman shared a post because he was also an extra on Dawson's Creek. And this is what his post said. Can I be
a guest star or an extra?
A guest star.
Okay.
Or he had a recurring role.
Okay.
It was 26 years ago, and at the height of Dawson's Creek, I'd just come off a really awful experience working on another WB show. The experience was so bad that I had been seriously considering quitting acting altogether. I was offered a recurring role in Dawson's Creek and quickly told my manager at the time I didn't want to do it. My exact words were, "I never want to work with people my age again. Lol." After much back and forth, I told the manager, "Fine, I'll do it, but I'm not going down there to worry about doing good work. I just want to have good time and make friends." Okay, I'll tell that to my next boss whenever I get a job.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's like, "I won't bore you with the details, but it's safe to say that he made me feel welcomed. He made me feel safe. He reminded me that not everyone who was a peer and leading a popular series was actively cruel and happy to make you feel small." I'm like...
Is he the only person that's ever come out with this sort of thing?
There's other people that have said, she's a diva, whatever, and there were other on-set tensions. Joss Whedon was actively playing a lot of the cast against each other.
That's right, you said.
And kind of in a recent interview that Seth Green did with Charisma Carpenter on her podcast, he had said there was some high school stuff between whatever. Now, I think this comes from the fact that Sarah Michelle Gellar, from everything that I've seen now, and now knowing what Joss Whedon did to them, I think she's like a consummate professional because she's been working since she was a kid. She knows her lines. She shows up. She does her job. And she was working like 12 hours more than every other person on that show. So I think if you were to come in and not know your lines, one of the
Can I ask you a question? I have a question to ask.
Yes. Am I biased?
What if she is insert
a diva
drama woman here? What if it turns out actually she is a really mean, horrible on set?
I had accepted for most of my youth that she was, because she really distanced herself from the franchise after it was initially done, and there was reports of on set kind of diva-like behavior. But now when you put those stories in the context of Joss Whedon, it's like all the people who were a clique on the show are the people who were like the furthest away from Joss Whedon.
Okay.
So I can imagine that Sarah Michelle Gellar was like, "I'm just here to do my job and not get..." Because she had just come from winning a daytime Emmy for the soap that she was on. When I was in my early 20s, I was probably also a bit of a...
Also, she is not your friend.
Yeah.
She isn't really here. She's a character she could be the most incredible actor. Like, some of the most incredible actors are the biggest cunts. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But they're still incredibly good at acting. So
well,
like,
this is the scary thing about like parasocial relationships as well, is that I can totally accept that like actors are actors and their own lives should really be their own lives.
Yeah.
I specifically wanted to bring up this Adam kind of response because it does point to other things that had been said about her. However, I think to put all of that stuff in the midst of like a memoriam post,
I agree. That is fucked. That's making me think. That's making me take lots of stuff that he's saying with a bit of a pinch of salt.
And here's the thing. To be fair, if he did have that experience, that was his experience. And totally valid. But one of the things is, if it's going to be something you're going to allude to, but you're not happy to actively talk about, you can't really expect people to like
take bits and pieces, either talk about it or shut the fuck up.
Now, we obviously, before I knew of any of this, I reached out to Adam to ask if he would like to come be on our podcast. And he so kindly wrote us a response, which was, "Respectfully, the answer is no. It's been the answer to anyone who's asked me to speak about my time in Buffy. I've done my best to avoid thinking or speaking about it for the last 20 years. Needless to say, I don't have anything positive to say. Lol. But I wish you the best for your podcast." So I was like...
That's so nice. Fair play. That's so sweet. He's beautiful big eyes. I think there's a bit of me that the fact that it's been 26 years or whatever, 27 years, I'm like, something must have happened. Like, you can't hold that grudge for that long about a TV show if something didn't happen.
Apparently she hit him with the hard side of the prop, and it caused him to have an actual concussion. And I'm like...
That happens all the time in sets, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I can imagine you could do that.
Intent is everything.
But I feel like it's... Now we know how to critically talk about the show and be entertaining and be like...
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've
That's
helped
the part
me,
of it, is enjoy it.
You've helped me be more like, it's just a TV show. And I think I've helped you in the other way, be like, I'm still going to
There's actually more into it. No, you've given me like a lot of like, no, there's more depth to this. There's more like, no, just in the show itself, like that. Okay, they're using the allegory of whatever vampire, werewolf, or whatever the monster of the week is, but the allegory is teenage life or growing up or becoming an adult or like the thing. And I'm down for it. Like, I understand that I'm nearly a 40-year-old man and this is not for me now at this age, but I can I can put myself in the headspace of being a teenager and being like, I would have dug this. And actually, and not even just that, as a nearly 40-year-old man, there are some brilliant episodes that are really funny, and the acting's incredible, and the stunt coordination's really good, and like, it's just a really good TV show. Generally, it's just a really good TV show, which helps critique stuff if it's good. Because it's all shit you can't critique because you're just going, this is shit.
Well, that's it. I also think for how divisive this season has been for a lot of people, that I haven't really thought about missing Cordelia or missing Angel.
No, haven't thought about either of them either.
Which I think is a real...
Shows how strong the main scoops are.
Yeah. You know who I do miss? Joyce.
Yeah, I haven't seen Joyce in a while.
Well, that does bring us to the end of the episode. You're right, David. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, hit the bell icon and subscribe. Leave your social security number, name of your first pet, mother's maiden name, whatever it takes for us to steal your identity.
Yes, please. And if you're on Spotify, make sure to give us a review and comment what you thought about this episode. Sorry, I'm coming off Tony's script here. I'm going to make I have been loving the comments. I seen a new person, Joanna,
yeah.
Joanna, with one N, and he put two N's in, and I was like, oh, Tony, oh.
I didn't even think about that.
You stupid cunt. No, I really appreciate when people comment and fire stuff in, even if it's just like nonsense. Tony's always the one who's usually commenting. If I comment, I usually put a little D at the end of it to let people know that it's me that's saying the whatever.
I think people would love you to comment back more. I think they're sick of me. I know you took a wee break from commenting, which is totally fine, because you were taking some, not that you were taking things the wrong way, but you could see the negativity in things that weren't necessarily inherently negative.
At a time in my life that I didn't need anything that was maybe challenging, I just needed a simplistic way of thinking. And to be fair, that was on a lot of social media things, like removing Reddit from my phone and like all the other things. The only one I can't get rid of is Instagram, but I would love to go off everything at some point, because I do feel the like lightness that you get when you don't have the world burdening you, when you can choose what to like. Anyway, talking shit because I've had like a bottle of wine. I drank that whole bottle. Fucking hell.
Scottish Podcast Awards did share one of our videos. To be fair, I tagged them in it.
Well, good.
I was like, do you want to know what? If that is how I'm going to have to get your attention.
No, I know you're Catholic because I had the tag in it. Anyway, and and don't forget to check back at this time next week when we finally get an answer to the question. Faruka. Who the fuck's Faruka? Oh, right. Faruka. Who the fuck's Faruka? Are you doing... Hang on, you're trying to keep up with me. But what song are you doing?
I was doing Alice. Who the fuck is Alice?
Oh, I thought you were doing... I know that's what I was doing, but you were just like...
I went slower because I thought you were trying to go slower to be in time. And
one of us is going to be at different times. If we just stick to our time...
I've made podcasts literally for the last 61...
Which one of us is a professional musician?
Which one of us is the recorder and editor of 61 episodes? 120 hours?
I am. It's me, Daddy.
Oh my God, that's what God says in the Bible to Moses.
It's me, Daddy. It's me, Daddy.
I am what I am. I am what I am. No,
I am. Anyway, I would really love us to do an episode next time you're home. Absolutely steaming.
Right. Oh wait, I guess I should stop recording. No.